Today's program is sponsored by The Anthony Vincent Salon. Say hello to beautiful.
You're listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not. Get into the loop with us. I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise, and we're your radio gateway to what's trending with beauty, fashion, health, wellness, and sex.
Mostly sex.
Of course it's mostly sex. Listen to us anytime, anyplace. Download the TuneIn app to your smartphone or tablet and make 920 The Voice your favorite.
You'll be glad you did.
Yes, you will be.
Well, it has been brought to my attention that I am a microphone hog. Can you imagine that?
I can.
Everyone seems to think that I just talk a little too much.
Does everyone say that to you?
Just you.
Am I everyone?
Well, Steven does too. Steven's our producer. Say hi, Steven.
Hello.
I don't think you're a hog of any kind.
Steven, you think I'm a microphone hog?
I'm not saying anything on that.
He's smart. He's not going to put anything like that on the air.
There's no such thing as the microphone hog on the Anthony Vincent Show.
No.
Oh, wait, this is Trend Radio.
Oh, that's right. Whoa.
Whoa, Steven, I will be bringing you ambrosia next week.
I can't complain. You just brought me the most delicious urinal cake.
Was it good?
I'm pretty sure this is actually a donut, but it's delicious.
It is a donut,
It looked like a urinal cake to me, and it was like really
there was
glazed
extra
over.
Extra glaze.
Oh, well, this is a urinal cake. If it is, there's a little red spot here. I'm hoping it's not from you.
No,
I think
those
it's
are
just.
Jimmy's.
I was just going to say, yeah, it's a little sprinkle.
It's a red, white, and blue Jimmy.
A little sprinkle. You should maybe get checked out.
A little sprinkle of cherry. You like a little sprinkle. Who doesn't like a little sprinkle of cherry?
I like a lot of cherry.
I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now we're done with your hog situation.
Well, I cannot have it be said that I talk too much, that I hog the microphone too much, or that I do anything too much. So I am turning this microphone over to you.
Fabulous. Okay, then. So here's what we're going to start with today.
Steven, you see how quickly she grabbed the microphone?
She ripped it out of your hand.
I'm telling you this. So maybe
Actually,
I'm not
people,
the microphone hog.
wait, no, actually, I didn't have to grab anything. I have my own microphone. I have my own microphone and my own little area at this radio station.
Leave my microphone alone.
I'm not touching your microphone.
All right, at this rate, I'm going to have to start drawing lines. Let's get the tape.
Okay. So, Anthony, what do you think when your girl dresses for attention, dresses too much for attention?
Well, I'll tell you,
Not necessarily, and let me just say, not necessarily your
Notice
girl.
how I didn't get my thought in.
But the vernacular girl. I want to make this clear because I don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt or anything like that. But it's not necessarily your girl. It's just any woman. What do you think when a woman dresses too much for attention?
Well, if she's dressing for me, for the attention, I think that's wonderful. And I'm a very secure guy. So if she's dressing provocatively or beautifully or trendy or whatever, I welcome the attention of others.
Trendy and beautifully is one thing. Provocatively, to go out for dinner with you, or say, your friend's wife going out for dinner and she's dressed in a very, very, very super low cut blouse that's sheer and very, very, very tight jeans. And if that's for you and she does that, that's one thing. But what if she's doing it because she's doing it for the attention of others?
Well, I actually dated a gal like that several years ago. She was a Sixers girl.
And we're back on the Sixers girl.
Yes,
the one who you said was frumpy in the yellow sweatsuit.
Yes, she was. That was just on the weekends.
Oh.
But when we went out, she, as I said, the makeup was on, the nails were done, the hair was fluffed out, and her dress was very, very provocative. The jeans were extra tight, the pumps were extra high, the blouses were extra low cut.
Okay, was she looking for attention from another man?
No, just from me. And she would always say, she said, I know there are other guys looking at me, but I'm dressing for you to look at me.
Okay.
She did say that. She said, I'm with you. She said, I'm with you. I'm not with anybody else.
Okay, so according to the study, though, that I was reading. This is the thing. When you're a man or woman, when you're with somebody and they dress for attention that way, this guy, this doctor, who I'm not actually going to mention his name, but
Because we don't agree with him?
I'm not saying whether I agree with him or not. It's not that at all. But this guy said that's not the right partner for you. Whether or not anybody agrees with it, but when somebody is looking for that kind of attention, eventually they're going to find it and they're going to dump you. That's his opinion.
That is based on the character
Of the person.
Of the person that you are with.
Exactly.
So I understand that. And if that's the character, you always go back to the character.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the character of the individual, that's probably not the type of lady that I would be interested in.
Right. Or man. You know?
Right. And I would think many insecure guys or girls would find a lot of problems and a lot of issues with that. Go further in this study. What else did he say? What was his recommendations?
What he actually said was, look at the actions of your partner, because actions speak louder than words.
Oh, always. It's not what I say. It's what I do.
Always.
Always.
And the thing is, and this was very, very, very good, and this really hit me, no explanation is needed. You'll either tolerate it or you won't.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very blunt, very straight to the point. That was what that was. You'll either tolerate it or you won't. So looking on that situation, if you love her or him and this is what they do and you're comfortable and confident and you're not worried, then go for it. But if you have an uncomfortable feeling, there's no reason ever to be uncomfortable in a relationship. None. If you're uncomfortable, then maybe you're not in the right relationship.
Well, how many guys and girls are strong enough to say, you know what, I've had enough. Cut it out. Just cut it out. Are they strong enough to say that?
I don't know.
And will their partner cut it out when he or she asks them to?
I don't know. I'm not actually in that situation. So I don't know, but that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point of view.
Is it really?
Well, I have a very strong point of view.
I know that you do.
For things that matter to me.
Yes, I do know that. So anyway, here's my suggestion. If there's that situation that you're in and she's dressing just a little too provocatively, take your power back. Relax about it. Have a conversation. If it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't, move on. There's always somebody else.
I had a roommate that said to me, Anthony, there's a bus that comes every 10 minutes. So if you're not happy in the relationship, don't fret and stress over it. Get out of it and move on. Find someone who loves you and cares about you. It's almost like I used to sell soap. And
you sold soap?
I sold soap many, many years ago.
What kind of soap?
Oh, it was great soap. It was laundry soap and deodorant soap.
Body soap?
All
Facial
kinds
soap?
Yes, that too.
What
all
kind?
kinds of soap.
Olive oil soap?
I still use olive oil soap.
I love olive oil soap.
So do I. Maybe it's part of being an Italian. I have olive oil in everything I eat, and my soap has olive oil in it too.
Greeks are like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so are the French. But hey, you know
I
what?
forgot the
Let me
point
just
that I
tell
was
you
making
something.
now.
Everybody, you were selling soap. But we got on soap.
That's right.
But the thing is, wait a second. Let me just get back to the soap for a second.
Oh, can I finish my thought?
No.
Okay.
Do you have?
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No. Do you have any soap
Not on me.
left? I know I'm not saying do you have any on you. Do you have any of this olive oil soap left?
I do. I have 2 bars. Would you like one?
Yes.
I will give it to you.
Thank you. I love olive oil soap. All right. Now, you were talking about soap and selling soap. Where were you? Go on.
Well, it's amazing that I can remember after all of that. But
Well, it's not like you're 75 years old that you have like a problem with your memory.
No, in fact, I just had my
40th birthday
party.
Yeah, so
Yes.
you're a young little spring chicken. So go on.
My boss said to me, Anthony, don't waste your time on people who don't want to buy your soap. Find people. He did. He
Don't
said,
waste your time if no one wants to buy your soap.
don't try to sell them your soap if they don't want it. Find someone who wants your soap. Now, that's a broad, general
That's
statement.
with anything.
It's with anything, absolutely.
Don't
including-
waste your time with someone who doesn't want you.
Correct.
You know when they don't want you. Just turn around and walk away.
This portion of our show is sponsored by Susan Eckley Ruck of ID Life. Not a one-size-fits-all nutritional program.
ID Life stands for Individually Designed Life, where nutrition is personal, formulated just for you and your needs.
Get started today. Take the free HIPAA-compliant health assessment.
Healthforlife.idlife.com.
That's the number 4.
Or give Susan a call, 609-712-1351.
Follow her on Facebook.
You'll be glad you did.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We are Trend Radio.
We are Trend Radio.
Now, today's a special show today. I have no clue what we're talking about today.
Really?
Not a clue.
Not a clue. Well, you know what? We're going to talk about a little bit of hair removal.
Hair removal, like nose hair, mustache hair, ear hair.
Actually, any kind of hair removal, but we're going to talk about the difference between laser hair removal and waxing and shaving.
And I've done all 3.
Have you?
I have.
What have you had lasered?
I'm Italian. My back.
Ah, okay. All righty then. All right, so let's talk about the differences between all 3. I mean, these are basically the ones that most people use for hair removal. So
The big 3, the shave, the wax.
shaving, waxing, and laser.
Yeah.
They're the big 3 ones. I mean, there are other things that people do. You know, they tweeze. But I mean, you can't really tweeze your legs.
Epilady? Do you remember the
Yeah,
Epilady
I do,
from the
I
80s?
do.
Were you around? I was just a little boy then.
Yeah, I was around. Yeah. Anyway, you know, and there's also like so many things that they advertise now on television. The no-no. And there's
If any people
cold
out
wax.
there know what the Epilady is, give us a call now and get a $50 gift certificate to Anthony Vincent Salon. Call us at 1732-NJ-HAIR-5.
Or since you're actually listening and it's Saturday morning, you can just call the salon at 609-448-2212.
Tell us what the Epilady is and receive.
A $50 gift certificate.
All right.
How cool is that? I think that's great.
That's very cool.
Yeah, you can do a lot in the salon with $50.
You can.
Yeah.
But getting back to
waxing, shaving, or laser. What do you like best?
shaving.
You do.
I shave every morning.
You're a guy. Okay. Girls. I know girls, we all have our own opinions about things. So just in case you're not really up on your hair removal methods, for waxing, that's when usually warm wax is applied to the skin, to the hair, and it's removed with a very little painful twist.
Yeah, it feels good going on because it's nice and warm.
Yeah.
But boy, that
when it
snap
comes
of the
off,
wrist,
it's not so, it depends on where you're having it waxed from too. Some places you can tolerate, some places not so much. But you pull the hair in the opposite direction of the growth and you pull it out by the root. Now,
guys have a very difficult time.
well, your hair is much more coarse than ours, especially because of shaving. But the pros to waxing is that it temporarily removes hair, from anywhere for like 2 to 4 weeks.
And it's very quick. It's done. Boom. 1, 2, 3, and it's over with.
Yeah, and so it's not that painful because it's fast.
I have done it, and it isn't that painful.
It's not like you're gonna die. Yeah.
And at our salon, we can wax you from head to toe. And we have waxed toes.
And we do wax from head to toe. But the cons for waxing, in order to be effective, you need to have some regrowth, at least 1/4 of an inch of stubble. So that means you have to, for the wax to adhere to.
But
so
before you go any further, stubble is when you shave and what grows in. When you are waxing and pulling the hair out from underneath the skin, when it comes back, it's not a stubble. It's a kind of a soft baby kind of hair.
It's still any kind of, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure most ladies would agree, any kind of hair growing out of their body, is stubbly. Okay? There is no reason for us to have any hair growing out of our body in places that we don't want it.
Well, I kind of really don't mind a little mustache.
Ah.
It reminds me of my grandmother.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
Oh. Your grandmother must have been so adorable in her black dress and her pearls and her mustache.
It was lovely.
Yeah. Well, that's basically the deal with waxing. Then there's shaving. Now, shaving removes hair at the skin's surface. And a good pro for that is that it's inexpensive, virtually painless, quick, and easy. But what do you think the cons are for that?
Well, I have to tell you something. And again, a guy, we shave our face, we shave our backs. Some guys I know at the gym, they're shaving their legs, they're shaving their arms, they're
And
shaving
that
their
freaks
chest.
me out.
Yeah, I don't care for it. But a hairy back really is kind of gross. And
It is gross.
yeah, and I know that I have this problem, and most of the guys at the gym have the same problem. Getting their girlfriends to shave, or wives, shaving their backs for them. I know personally, and I've said before that I do manscape, and I just don't like those wild hairs on my back. So I fight with my lady to, come on, just get rid of them for me. So I usually wind up doing it at the salon. But I always thought I could set up a little business in the gym, shaving the guys' backs whose ladies won't do it for them.
I'm sure that would be a great one. I know that you're really sweaty. It's perfectly fine. Come here. I'm going to shave your back. I'm Anthony freaking Vincent. I'm going to shave your back.
That might be a little bit odd in the locker room.
I'm thinking it's
that
odd.
the franchise would have a little problem with that.
I'm thinking the other guys are going to have a little problem with
But
it.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a special card, and I'm going to give it to all the hairy-backed guys in the gym to come into the salon, and I could have a very, lovely young lady.
A little side business going on.
Yeah, taken care of. It'll be a specialty.
Yeah.
A specialty
for the
service.
gym.
Yeah.
That's perfect, Anthony.
Give special deals for.
Yeah,
for
we'll let them know that at the gym. So one of the cons for shaving, though, is that regrowth happens very quickly. And here's the thing. The hair appears thicker, even though it's not necessarily, but because it's so stubbly, there's your word,
When
it appears thicker.
When I was in high school, we wanted to shave, and we wanted that stubble, and we wanted it to look thicker because, well, we were kids and we wanted to be men.
Well, it works. That's what
does.
happens. Yeah, it absolutely does. I've never wanted any facial hair on me to look thicker, ever. I still don't.
That's because you're not Italian.
Oh, so if I was an Italian woman, I'd want my facial hair to look thicker?
You wouldn't notice it.
Yeah, I would notice it because I just would notice that. Okay, so now we've gone over waxing, we've gone over shaving. Let's go with laser. The laser penetrates the skin to target the hair shaft and inhibit hair growth. It destroys the hair follicle and it can achieve permanent loss. Now, it can achieve permanent loss.
Now, I must tell you that it only works on darker hair. If the hair is lacking color, the laser does not work. So if there are gray hairs coming out, will not
Now
kill the...
that's it. Very interesting that you said that, because what they actually do say is that it's best for darker, coarse hair.
That's because the laser light is absorbed more efficiently in the darker hair. The lighter hair reflects the laser light, not giving it the full...
Aren't you just full of information?
I'm a plethora.
Oh, yes,
of
you are. Now, you
information.
see, I was going to say plethora, but I saved it for you.
Thank you.
No problem.
I was going to say perpendicular.
Were you really?
Thank you.
I really love the word perpendicular.
It's my favorite word.
Yeah, it's a good one. Okay, so the pros for laser: long term, no damage to the dermis, which, just in case any of you don't know what the dermis is, The dermis is the layer of skin between the epidermis, which makes up the cutis and subcutaneous tissues.
I love the cutest tissues.
I'm sure you love those cute tissues. And for sensitive skin, it can be treated. It's good for sensitive skin. It doesn't affect anything. The only thing is that Anthony is right. It works best on darker hair. So it doesn't always work best for everybody, though.
And the laser hurts. It is like getting rubber bands snapped on your back.
Now, it's amazing that you should say that, because that's one of the cons. Aside from it being expensive, it's painful.
It's very expensive.
And it's like you're in the shower having rubber bands, exactly like what you said, twisted and painfully snapped all over your skin.
Over and over again. And it's not just a rubber band. It's a
and imagine this.
Because that's how the laser shoots.
You know when you cut yourself in the shower shaving and then the water is beating down on it and that stings? Now have a rubber band hitting that. And so that's painful. But here's the one best part about the whole thing. If, and I say if with capital letters, if it's permanent, it may be worth it.
Now, you can also get a topical anesthetic prescription that you can put on your skin an hour before the treatment. Also, very, very expensive to get this cream. Go to the doctor, get the prescription, put it on. So it makes waxing even more expensive if you're going to use this anesthetic cream.
Yeah. It's good, though. I don't know how much it's going to help, though.
I've used that.
Is it really?
I didn't think it was worth it.
Yeah, the thing that I've used it also, and I don't know, even though you feel it numbing, and I felt it numbing, and I felt like I could probably feel nothing, like when I touched my skin after it was on, and then it started, and I could feel it. I could feel it right through. So I don't know how much that really works. I don't want to put anybody off from getting this done.
Yeah, you make your own choices.
Of course, you make your own decisions.
We've just had experience in all three, and we feel the best method is to come into the salon and see Nancy, an expert in waxing from head to toe. And if you come in, call us, let us know. Her husband, Kevin, will bake you a carrot cake.
And let me just tell you something.
The best carrot cake you will have in your life.
And let me just tell you something. You're going to have your carrot cake, and you're going to have your waxing with Nancy, and you're going to be in Anthony Vincent Salon, and you're going to be glad you did.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got chemistry? Is your salon consistent, happy, edgy, magical, impeccable, satisfying, trendy? Are you ready for anything? Say hello to beautiful.
Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did. Get into the loop with us. We are Trend Radio, your gateway to what's happening in beauty, fashion, music, health, and wellness. I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise. Tune in to Trend Radio every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. You'll be glad you did.
And now, Stephen Molinelli and Kevin Ryan, the purveyors of wealth management. And you can talk to them in person at Insight Financial Services, LLC.com. Call them at 609-730-4940. Located South Main Street, Pennington.
Good morning to the two most handsome gentlemen in finance.
I know you're talking about us.
Ruggedly handsome, I might add.
Jeez. Good morning, Elise. Anthony.
Who walked through the door?
Wow.
Oh, it's you guys I'm talking about.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So lately, we've been discussing stocks and bonds, ETFs, mutual funds.
Right.
And, we've gotten so much wonderful information, but we need more. So what can we talk about today?
We can talk today about bond mutual funds because most of what we've talked about, we did talk about stocks and bonds and the difference between the two. But when we talked about mutual funds and ETFs, we really kind of focused on the equity or the stock portion of
So
that.
there's
Right.
an actual bond mutual fund.
There
Absolutely.
are many,
Oh,
many,
do
many
tell.
bond mutual funds.
I didn't know that.
People
Me
don't know.
either.
People don't know that much about the bond markets and how the bond markets work. The bond markets, I mentioned it on one of the other shows, can be very, very, very complex. I spent a lot of time managing portions of bond departments on Wall Street for the first 25 years of my career before I got involved on this side of it, which I love. But managing a bond portfolio is not easy. It's supply and demand. You don't have infinite amounts of bonds out there. Bonds are issued by companies or municipalities for the amount of money that they need to raise. So if someone needs to raise $200 million to build to add lanes to the New Jersey Turnpike, or somebody needs to raise $2 million to create more Kellogg's cornflakes, $200 million. I mean, those
a lot of
those
cornflakes.
that's a lot of cornflakes. But bonds are not. The supply of bonds is important. That's going to determine market price, market value, and you just can't go out there and buy any bond because the bond might not be available. Kevin and I use both individual bonds and bond mutual funds. I like to use individual bonds when we can because that means that Kevin and I have control over the portfolio.
Right.
We have a lot more control over helping our clients fulfill strategies. We can protect clients a little bit more with individual bonds, but individual bonds have, the supply is being gobbled up, and it's being gobbled up largely by the institutions, including the mutual funds. So there are bond mutual funds. Bond mutual funds can range. They can be foreign bonds. They can be high yield bonds, or more affectionately known as junk bonds. They could be long-term bonds. It could be municipal bonds. It could be short-term bonds, floating rate bonds. I could go on with a couple more categories, but bond funds conceptually work like stock mutual funds in that they are a basket of bonds, individual bonds, in a portfolio that is actively managed. Those of you who've listened to the last couple of weeks know the difference between active and passive management, and bond funds are actively managed. They have a lower expense ratio, generally speaking, than do stock funds. But when you need to raise money, if you needed to raise $50,000 and you had to take it from your bond fund, you're going to sell $50,000 worth of that mutual fund as a unit. If you needed to raise $50,000 and you only had to do it with bonds, and we had individual bonds, we could choose the bonds that made more sense for our client to sell. We'd probably look at bonds that were paying less income, depending upon the maturity requirements in the account. We have a number of different criteria that we look at to evaluate which bonds might be the best bonds to buy or sell in an account. Years ago, when the financials got beat up, people were staying away from financial companies. They were concerned. And I thought that it would take a hell of a lot before Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley or company like that to go out of business. And I looked at the bonds and I said, geez, Kev, these things appear to be tremendously undervalued to me. So we were able to buy bonds, what we think is cheaper prices. We kept the maturities short to keep the volatility down. And 5-year bonds, 5 years ago, they were 5-year bonds. So what do you think they are now? They've either matured or they've got another year to go. And they've continued to pay their interest. So I don't think we were the only ones that had that idea, because eventually the short-term individual financial bonds were, started to dry up. But make no mistake about it, there are lots of different, very well-run mutual funds out there that are bond mutual funds. Again, you need to do your homework.
Stephen, can you get out of a mutual bond fund as easily as you can a stock mutual fund?
Well, mutual funds, both stock mutual funds and bond mutual funds, are priced at the end of the day. And they're priced to what is called their net asset value. Yes, you can. The answer is yes, you can get out of any mutual fund as easily as another one. If you, Anthony, wanted to sell a bond mutual fund at 10 o'clock in the morning, we take the order and we put the order in to sell that mutual fund at 10 o'clock in the morning. But that trade will not be executed until the end of the day, when all the technology has allowed the bonds in that portfolio to be priced.
And actually, this is probably a good point to jump in, because as we're now talking about bonds within a mutual fund, there are also ETFs that incorporate bonds as well. So the one of the differences between, and I don't think we made enough of it, we emphasize this enough, but one of the differences between an ETF and a mutual fund is that, as Steve said, mutual funds trade once a day at the end of the day, where an ETF trades like a stock. So you can sell it on the market open at 9:30, and you could buy it back at 10:30, and so it has a lot more. You have a lot more ability to, a lot more flexibility in an ETF versus a mutual fund.
There's like everything in the financial world, I think. I don't think any investment is quote unquote perfect. But I think if you have a knowledgeable person working with you, and doing their homework, you're gonna turn out to be okay. In most cases, with bond mutual funds, we have to be very careful looking what's in the fund, because there could be very high quality bonds in a fund. There could be very low quality bonds in a fund. The duration or the average maturity, again, it's not a specific maturity. How could it be if you've got 35 or 40 or 50 different bonds in the mutual fund? So there's a weighted average maturity. You might say, this fund has a weighted average maturity of 5 years. That doesn't mean that every bond in that fund is going to mature in 5 years. You could have some maturing in 1, and you could have some maturing in 10. And just simple math, that might give it a weighted average of 5. So there are, again, a tremendous amount of things that need to be considered. But give us a call.
Which is why people need to give you a call.
Yeah, that's why you need to give us a
Exactly.
call. Give Kevin or I a call any time at 609-730-4940 or 4941, and we'd welcome any questions that you might have.
Fabulous.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The opinions voiced on this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities are offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got brows? Aching for an arch? Frame it, fill it, and flaunt it. Say hello to beautiful.
Want your beauty question answered on the air? Email us now from anthonyvincentsalon.com. Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did. We are Trend Radio. You're with Anthony Vincent.
And Elise.
We've got a bunch of emails coming in lately. We love the idea that people just are emailing us questions.
Oh, I love it. I think it's awesome that they trust us in our opinion.
Yeah, really. And we got another one the other day from David, who's 52. And David wants to know what he should do. He's married, and he's been having an affair. Now, recently he ended it, but he's still calling the girl. He's texting her, and he's still seeing her. He said it's over, and he wants to stay with his wife, but he also isn't letting go of this woman.
Hopefully it's not women.
But he also isn't letting go of this woman. He says he wants to be her friend.
Well, I'm going to answer David, okay?
Sure. Yeah, I got nothing for this.
Okay. See, David, how is she supposed to meet someone if you're still in the picture?
He's very selfish.
I think he's a very selfish
Yeah, I do too.
man.
Yeah.
And when you don't let someone move on, you're doing her a terrible injustice. How is she supposed to have any kind of life if she still somehow thinks that she has a chance with you. Even if she's agreeing to just be your friend, she's really not. And that's the thing, David. She's really hoping that you're going to see that she will do whatever it takes to stay in your life.
Also, if you are spending your time between the two, you really can't devote enough attention to one or the other. You're actually preoccupied. Very difficult position to be in, I think.
It's difficult. Well, David, you're creating a difficult situation for yourself, but you need to let go of your ego and let this girl move on with her life. If you're
That's
truly,
a hard thing to do, let go of the ego. I know that for sure.
listen, if you're truly her friend, then act like one and do the right thing. If you truly care enough that she has a good life, let it go. Because why would you want to hurt her? Because that's what you're doing in the end, especially if you're not planning on changing your life for her. It's very simple, really.
But, we don't know her point of view. Maybe she prefers having, a married guy on the side than having a full-time boyfriend. Because, full-time boyfriends can be a pain in the butt and very difficult.
The sad part about that is whether she wants that or not, if she does, that's wonderful. The only thing is that he's still basically then not, as you said, not giving 100% to his actual life. And besides that, he's creating a way, if she's not able to have anybody else in her life, he's creating and she's allowing herself to just become an old maid and have nobody.
He's not giving anyone 100%, including himself.
Yeah, it's actually a shame. Well, anyway, that's my opinion. How is she supposed to move on? And how is she supposed to meet somebody and share special time and special holidays and special days if he's still in her life and he's not planning on changing it? Just very simple.
I don't think so simple. This is really a difficult thing. And if any of our listeners out there have any ideas or like to add to what we have to say, give us a call at 1-732-NJ-HAIR-5.
Or you can email us at trendradio920@gmail.com.
Yeah, we really like to hear what you have to say about this.
Fabulous.
Need a salon that's about the whole you? Precision haircuts, flawless makeup, impeccable nails, top-rated professional hair products. Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a hairstylist who has his finger on the pulse of all the latest trends? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for a dependable salon with over 35 years in the industry? Anthony Vincent Salon. Looking for New York City and internationally trained stylists that will create the perfect look for you? Anthony Vincent Salon. Shine brightly while walking down the aisle. Anthony Vincent Salon. For longer, thicker, beautiful hair extensions, Anthony Vincent Salon. Incredible makeup applications for weddings, proms, or any special occasions. Anthony Vincent Salon. Have dry, brittle summer hair? Get a hot shot. Anthony Vincent Salon. Before you put a ring on it, manicure it. Anthony Vincent Salon. Your image is their specialty. For the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Anthony Vincent Salon. For a more beautiful you, call now 609-448-2212 and follow them on Twitter.
And we're back, and we haven't talked about sex in the show at all.
Oh, everything we talk about has to do with sex, Anthony. It's just what we do.
It is what we do.
It's just what comes out of our mouths.
So I am going to ask the listeners out there, how did you lose your virginity?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That's what you need to know.
It's a vernacular you.
I know.
Just generally
I
speaking.
forgot. The vernacular you.
That's my
needs to
favorite
know.
person, the vernacular.
I know. I know that vernacular you.
Mm-hmm. Now,
quite well, actually.
Now, in a recent study in the Journal of Sex and Marital Therapy, researchers found that a disappointing first time can often lead to a poor sexual self-confidence.
Really?
Oh, sure. If it was bad, you think... Oh,
you
God.
think it's always going to be bad?
Well, it's the initial thought, and it's what you stick with.
Okay, see, I don't think that just because you have a bad first time that you're going to have a bad sex life.
Okay.
I don't think that.
Well,
I think it really honestly depends, first of all, on who you're with. If you're going to lose... No. All right, you go on. because you're freaking me out already.
All right. Okay. From the study, if you're anxious and less sexually assured, you're more likely to have a first bad experience or a negative first sexual experience.
Typically, when you lose your virginity, you're very young.
Or drunk.
Okay. Sometimes drunk also. It depends on the person. But typically you're very young. And I mean, unfortunately, unless you really believe in marriage, before sex, which
I do.
A lot of people don't believe in that.
Especially for my daughter.
If you had one, I would go with that. Okay, but typically you lose your virginity somewhere in your teenager age status there. There are ways of coming back from that. I mean, you could have a bad experience, of course. Of course, anybody could have a bad experience. Hell, you can have a bad experience with somebody that you love and adore and still have a bad experience depending on, how bad their day was that day.
Well, that first bad experience absolutely could have a negative sexual future.
I guess it absolutely could, but there are so many ways of coming back from that. When you're having sex for the very first time, there are so many factors to be taken.
That's right. And bad experiences in bed can run the gamut from tame to traumatic.
Absolutely. Okay, I can't argue with that. However, there are ways of coming back from that. You meet somebody sweet and loving. You meet somebody kind. You meet somebody with good character.
That's right. I would think most women will want a stronger connection mentally.
Absolutely. I think so.
Yeah.
You definitely want to have a strong connection with somebody that you're going to bed with.
Of course.
I mean, you want to be able to, when you're in bed, when you're together, when you're making love, having sex, doing whatever it is you do, you want to be able to look into that person's eyes. You want to be able to have that connection. Usually, the first time, it doesn't really happen that way. I mean, we all really know that. It's kind of like,
I can't believe I'm here.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Yeah. Oh, geez. Ow. It hurts. If you're a girl, generally it hurts. I mean, come on. Think about it.
Well, guys think that maybe tender emotional experiences are important, and I think they are. But
some guys don't, though.
No?
No.
Oh. So in other words, women want you to express your full desire and combine that intimacy with eye contact. Whisper in her ear.
Some women want
and then
that.
Just grab her by the hair.
Some women want that, and some women want, something a little bit more emotional. It depends. See, that's the thing. It's something to be discussed. It's something to be talked about. It's something to be shared between you. It's a very personal moment.
And it's different for every person.
Absolutely. And it's different every time.
I'm Anthony Vincent of Anthony Vincent Salon. Time for another fun and fabulous beauty tip with our tip chick. And here she is.
Got lashes? Come and get them. Thick, full, and flirty. Individual plumes introduced to your own. No need for anything else. Bat away. Say hello to beautiful.
Email us now from AnthonyVincentSalon.com. Remember, for the 150,000 hairs on your head, there's only one choice. Call us now at 609-448-2212. You'll be glad you did.
Men's Health Magazine did a questionnaire. They questioned almost 2,000 women to answer questions on what they'd most likely ask about a man's relationship history. And it was like, how many women have you slept with? How did you meet your exes? How long was it before they met your family? How regularly did you talk to your exes? Things like that. But the most important question was, and 70% of the women asked this question, have you ever cheated on a girlfriend? This is what
this is for women.
They want to know the answer to these questions.
Who wants to know the answer?
The women, 2,000 women interviewed.
Right, but you just said, did you ever cheat on a girlfriend?
They're asking their boyfriend. This is the question that they want to know. Have you ever cheated on a girlfriend? Women want to know this. 70%. Some of the...
So what did the men say?
Well, that wasn't the study on what they said. They just wanted to know what questions the women were most likely to ask, and 70% want to know.
Ask the question.
That's what they want to know. Have their man ever cheated on their girlfriend?
Wow.
But what's interesting is how many women cheat on their boyfriend.
Really? How
Yet
many?
Nearly 1 in 5 women admit to being unfaithful. And this comes from a study in the Archives of Sexual Behavior. The most common predictor is sexual incompatibility.
Oh, and that's why they cheat?
Well, according to this study from the Archive of Sexual Behavior, they're just...
So the reason women cheat on their man is because they feel that they're sexually incompatible with who they're with.
Well, and that could be, if, the guy's really hot and he just looks real good. He's like all show, no go. A lot of hot guys think, just because, I'm good looking, I can get any girl I want. They're a little bit lazy in bed.
Oh, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 49% of the women who admitted to infidelity said they strayed because of boredom in bed. Now, this is the 2,000 women that Men's Health asked these questions.
Wow.
This is not my study. This is not a study done by any, colleges or professors or anything like that. It was just
So it's not your opinion necessarily?
No, not necessarily my opinion. No.
Well, the Examiner had a whole thing about men and why men cheat. They give you like a slew of reasons why men necessarily would cheat on their girlfriend.
Because
or
they're
woman.
afraid of death.
They cheat because they're afraid of death? That wasn't listed. That wasn't one of the listed.
You didn't see the movie Moonstruck? You know what I'm talking about now.
I do. Snap out of it. I got you. And you're lucky I didn't slap you. But according to the
That wouldn't have
Examiner...
been the first time.
Oh, stop that. We're on the air. I don't slap you.
Go ahead.
No, but there's a bunch of reasons why men cheat on women. And you know what the first one is?
I don't, but I'm eagerly awaiting.
Ego.
Ego. That damn little ego.
It's not the little ego that's the problem.
Even Rocky had an ego.
It's the big ego.
But it was a little one.
But there are so many other reasons. And another one is because you let him. He's cheated before and he's gotten away with it. So he'll cheat again.
Well, according to this study, sexual differences are often about a clash of expectations. Now, she might feel threatened by what you're proposing, but deflect her anxiety and explain what certain things mean to you.
What do you mean?
Well, let's say that, and this is going toward the men now. Let's say that there are certain sexual acts or positions that she just doesn't like. So you'll either need to move on and accept the idea that you're spending with your life with somebody who only likes sex missionary style and to be done in 5 minutes, and by the way, the national average is 2 minutes, or it is or just move on and be bored with your sex life, and I believe, according to the 2,000 women polled, that's what it was boredom, mundaneness.
Oh, so they were bored with their sex lives, so they went and found somebody.
Or something exciting.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not saying I agree with that, but
hey, it happens.
Evidently it does.
Yeah. Do you want to hear another reason why men cheat?
Tell me.
This is so great, to satisfy his sexual orientation. If he's gay or bisexual, he doesn't want to leave his wife, and he doesn't want anybody to know that he has any of these, these other areas of need, he just may cheat by having an affair with other men.
So is that really cheating? How does a woman compete with a guy with another guy?
There is no competition. No, there is no competition. It's not about the competition. But yes, in a sense, it absolutely is cheating, because you're still sharing
emotions
when you're having sex, regardless of whether it's rough, heavy duty, physically bondaged, masochistic, whatever it is that you're doing.
How do you know about that stuff?
I'm moving forward. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's still an emotional area there. And when you're sharing your body with somebody else and having an emotion with it, yes, that is considered cheating.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up. I was watching a show called Cheaters, which I hate that show. It seems to ruin so many lives, but I find myself compelled to watch it. It's because it's just crazy. There was a young lady cheating on her boyfriend, and they were interviewing him before I realized he had a girlfriend. I actually thought that his partner was a guy. The way he talked, what he said, I thought they were a gay couple. Well, it turns out they weren't. It was a girl. And she said when she finally was caught, she said, I told you, you don't want to be with me. You want to be with another guy. I said, I can't believe I saw that.
Oh, wow.
I saw right through it.
Yeah, you're very, very smart.
No, I'm just aware.
You're very, very aware.
Did I just say that I wasn't smart? Did I just tell everybody out there I wasn't smart?
No, you are very smart. You're bright. You're a plethora of knowledge with a perpendicular mind.
But am I cute?
Very cute.
All right.
You're
Am I
absolutely,
handsome?
positively adorable. You are so handsome. Oh, girls, you just have no idea what you're missing right now.
There you
I'm
go.
sitting here next to just Mr. GQ.
Let me get my wallet out. I'll pay you like I said I would.
Oh, you will? You will? That's news to me. I didn't know that you were going to do that. Do you want to know another reason why men cheat?
Tell me.
Okay, the thrill of the chase. Isn't that always a good one?
Always.
Cheating men thrive on excitement generated by a secret affair. They view all of the ducking, dodging, and sneaking and infidelity. I mean, around the infidelity.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, it involves, a form of creation or a high-risk sport.
Personally, I can't handle the anxiety that goes
No?
along with that. No.
Hey, you need a pill for anxiety? I got one.
I need 2 pills for anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But even not cheating, even when you meet someone for the first time with a guy, it really is the thrill of the chase. Can I get her to like me?
Mm-hmm. And then the thing is that once you do,
You don't want
and
her
she's
anymore.
all over you, and then you're on to the next. That type of personality.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the personality of a player. He's a hardcore cheater for whom cheating is a way of life. He likes having a lot of women, and he almost pits them against each other to him because it's just a game.
So he's not really a cheater. He's just a guy having a good time.
No, he's a cheater because he's literally married to one of them, but then he finds ways of...
Wait a minute, you're talking about a player. A player is not necessarily married.
Well,
how does he have time to be married?
He's a player. These are men who cheat. All right, maybe he's not married, but maybe he does have one girlfriend that he lives with. But he's still a player, so he still wants other women.
I'm talking about the guy who is single. Has
Okay,
his
now
own
we're
apartment.
talking about a new thing. We were just talking about cheating. You're the one who brought up cheating. Now you want to talk about just the player? Because we can talk about just the player too.
And talk about the player.
Let's talk about the player.
We got 4 minutes.
All right, go for it.
I don't know anything about players.
All right, then I guess we're moving on.
Oh, well, do you think I was a player at one time? No comment. Thank
It's a
you.
very silent time here at 9:20 a.m. The Voice.
I'm going to tell you a personal story about a gal that I had dated. Now, in my younger years, I was a terror. I really was.
I believe it. I believe that you're a terror now too.
And I met a really, really nice girl, and we started dating, and it was very, very exciting. This is a true story, and she was very happy about going out with me, and she told all of the girls at work oh, I met such a nice guy. He's so much fun and blah, 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 blah. Right. And his name is Anthony Vincent. They went, oh no. True story. Don't go out with Anthony Vincent.
Oh my God. That's too good. That's too good. You know what? End it right there because that was great. I have another reason why men cheat.
Tell me.
Okay. Because out of love. Some men cheat because they're really in love with the other woman. It may have started out as a cyber affair or in an innocent friendship that became an emotional affair, which progressed to a sexual infidelity. That's another reason.
Well, you know, many women, I think, from what we discuss in the salon, is that the emotional connection is what they're most upset with.
That is actually true because, you know, the thing is that you can have a great relationship with somebody, but once they do something that affects your emotions, like, very simple, ignore you, you know, just because they're doing something, they're ignoring you in front of people too. That's very, very emotional for the person.
Yeah, that's unacceptable in my book.
I agree. But moving on from that, another reason men cheat is to participate in certain sexual acts. Some men cheat to fulfill their sexual fantasies or because they want kinky sex that their, you know, wives or girlfriends won't perform. So they find somebody who's willing to do absolutely anything.
Where do you find somebody like that?
Are you looking? Oh, that was good.
Don't you have to pay for that or?
No, you can find these people. Yeah, there are people you can find to do absolutely anything. Yeah. Another reason, some men cheat to see if they've still got it. Yep. They want to know if they still have it, if they're still, you know, effective.
Well, you know, 15% of men say that if they could just lose 15 pounds, they'd be much more effective. Very.
And some men just have
also
an addiction, a sexual addiction, and they just need to.
You know, aren't there like...
yeah, they're Sexaholics Anonymous
yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be really a great place to meet women.
Yeah, I imagine it would be.
You have been listening to Trend Radio, where we talk about what's hot and what's not every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Listen to us anytime, any place. Download the TuneIn Radio app to your smartphone or tablet and make 920 The Voice your favorite.
And if you have a topic of interest that you want us to talk about or you'd like to be a guest on our show, email us now, trendradio920@gmail.com. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Anthony Vincent.
And I'm Elise.
We'll talk to you next week.
Bye for now.